Hello my dear viewers, I am going to start Indian history, especially Indian freedom struggle or national movement of India. As you know that this chapter is very essential for all UPSC exams, all SSC exams or all state public service commission exams, especially those who are preparing for civil services and groups. This topic or this chapter is very essential because if you take Andhra Pradesh and Telangana Public Service Commission, they gave lot of weightage to this modern India, especially modern India. They gave freedom struggle, they gave importance to freedom struggle or Indian independence struggle. Let's try to understand, let's try to gather certain information which is very useful for the public service commissions or civil services. Let's begin. Okay, freedom movement of India. Freedom movement of India. If you see the freedom movement in India, it was began. The first freedom movement began in 1857. Many historians they called as 1857 was first war of Indian independence. First war of Indian independence. But the actual, the political struggle began after the formation of Indian National Congress. Formation of Indian National Congress. Let's see. What are the consequences led to formation of Indian National Congress, right? So, if before going to that, we need to learn the society or the political scenario before INC or certain organizations or other organizations before INC. Means there was a lot of groundwork was there. Lot of groundwork was done. Different organizations were set up. Later, after that, Indian National Congress was set up. So many members they do not know that suddenly Indian National Congress was set up. No, it was not a sudden incident. It was not an accidental incident, not a sudden incident. There was a lot of groundwork was done. So what are the groundwork? So first we look about early nationalism. Early nationalism. Can you give me the reasons? They may also ask in the examinations, in MCQs. Find out which is not a reason for the nationalism in India or patriotism in India or political consciousness in India, right? So, early nationalism, what are the reasons? What are the reasons for the nationalism? What are the reasons led to create among the Indians for the patriotism, for the nationalism? So, that was political awakening. What? Political awakening. Why suddenly this political awakening came among the Indians? Because there are certain reasons were there. Certain reasons. So what are the reasons? What are the reasons? Reasons for the nationalism. Reasons for the patriotism. The first reason was economic impact of the British rule. Economic impact of the British rule. Economic impact of the British rule. As you know that they came as a traders, but they started to rule India, right? So economic impact, British policies, the colonial rule was broke the village autonomy, right? So the major economic impact was the backbone of the Indian economy of that time. The backbone of the Indian economy at the time were villages. So village economy had been broken. Village economy had been broken, and due to that there was a continuous poverty. People were suffering for the starvation. Poverty was common in our India. British they did not take any measures to stop, to control this poverty, or they did not regenerate employment among the villages, those who are especially agrarian sector, means agriculture sector. So we can say that the major economic impact was the backbone of Indian economy. Villages were neglected, and due to that poverty raised. Many people were died. Okay, there is many droughts and famines were occurred in our India, and moreover, the wealth had been taken from India. Wealth taken from India, and they constructed. They got huge wealth, right? So this is the economic impact. First one, village economy had been broken, poverty and wealth had been taken by the Britishers. So this economic impact, who explained these things are happening in our India? The economists like Dadabhai Naoroji, R.C. Dutt, S.N. Banerjee. Dadabhai Naoroji, R.C. Dutt considered these are the first economists in our India. Dadabhai Naoroji, R.C. Dutt, S.N. Banerjee and M.G. Ranade. These people, these intellectuals were criticizing the attitude of the British, and what actually they are doing, they are trying to explain the Indian common people. So that was also one of the reasons. Whenever these intelligents, they were explaining what is happening in India, so other people also they are getting, they are also awareness. There was an awareness was created. So that awareness also reason for the creation of the early nationalism, or bring certain kind of awakening among the people, right? So this is the first reason. Then the second reason was socio-religious movement. So this is the first one, and the second one, socio-religious movement. As you know that there are a number of social and socio-political organizations or socio-religious organizations were started in our India, like Arya Samaj, Brahma Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Sarada Sadan. There are so many organizations, especially socio-religious organizations. But these socio-religious organizations also observing the political consequences of India. The socio-religious organizations also keeping an eye on the political consequences in our India. So that's what there was, due to the socio-religious organizations or due to the socio-religious movement, there was cultural consciousness was grown among the Indian. Cultural consciousness, cultural awakening was there due to this all organizations like Arya Samaj, Brahma Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Sarada Sadan, Ramakrishna Mission. Though they are belongs to certain religious, but though they were very keen on the political consequences. Then the third important reason for the bringing up or growth of the nationalism was Western education. What? Western education, Western administration and judiciary and modern means of transportation. Judiciary and modern transportation. Modern transportation. Western education. As you know that English, they introduced English education in 1835. English or British, they introduced English education in India 1835. So those who received English education, they became the intelligence, they became philosophers, and these people, they tried to understand and what are the commonness and what are the important things to be done for the country, and they're trying to understand about the colonial rule, and they're thinking, they're gathering the information what is happening around the world, like French Revolution, American freedom struggle. These all they knew, and they are also demanding for that democracy, independence, self-rule, self-administration. Those people received English education, they thought that yes, we do not have our self-administration, so somebody ruling us, so we need to do something. So that awakening was came due to the Western education. Administration means they are comparing with other countries and what kind of the administration should be there in a country, so they are thinking about that. Judiciary, and the judiciary, they are, when those who are educated people, they are mostly, they went to other countries to pursue their higher education or to complete their barrister or complete law or other degrees. They are comparing, they are gathering other countries' judicial matters, judiciary. And modern transportation, modern means of transportation. Due to the modern means of transportation, the news was spread very early what was happening. Okay, and due to the modern transportation, the people could go to the long distance, and the people could see, the people could read, people could study, people could achieve, okay, something for themselves, and that will be useful for the nationalism. When the people go London, it took many months, but when flights came, when they afford to go other countries, then the people were well known about their structure, judiciary, administration, everything they know. So this intelligence also questioning. So these intelligence were questioning about equality. Where is equality? For example, they went to America, they went to France. There was a equality. There is a fraternity. There was a liberty. And when they see India, so these things were not available in India. These things were not there in India. No, we have to do something. We need to fight. We need to do fighting for equality, liberty, fraternity. So that kind of the awakening came. And mostly these people, when they went to other countries, they able to read the important philosophers' ideology like John Jacques Rousseau, Stuart Mill, Voltaire, Thomas Paine. So these ideas were they read. They studied the ideology of the intellectuals of that time. Rousseau, Milton, Stuart Mill, Voltaire, Thomas Paine. These members were influenced the educated Indians. Who? Rousseau, Milton, Voltaire, Thomas Paine, Rousseau. These people were motivated the people to do something for the countries. Their ideology, their books were influenced the Indians, so that the educated Indians were thinking about the nation. And slowly the patriotism, nationalism was grown among the Indians. Right? And the fourth and the last one, there are so many reasons were there, but these important reasons I want to discuss with you. Alright. Press and literature. Press and literature. Press and literature. Press means what? Newspapers. As you know that Bengal Gazette, it was the first commercial paper. It was bi-weekly, it was a commercial paper. Okay, later many newspapers came to India. There are so many newspapers were there. The Hindu, okay, Bombay Chronicle, and Samvada Kaumudi, Vande Mataram, Krishna Patrika, okay, Vande Mataram. There are so many newspapers were there. Kesari, Maratha, Bengali, Indian Mirror, so many newspapers were there. These all newspapers were creating, awakening among the Indians, to political consciousness among the Indians. So because of the press and certain literary works also. Certain literary works, example Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's Sannyasi Math, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's or Anand Math also created. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's Anand Math also created certain kind of the patriotism among the Indians. So press, literature, press means newspaper. There are so many newspapers were there. So I'll give the list of the newspapers later session. Okay. So press, literature, Western education, and social religious movement, economic impact. These all are created a platform to form certain organization which can discuss their own problem. Okay. This can created an umbrella to these all reasons were created the people to come under an umbrella to discuss their problems. So let's see what are the organizations were there before INC. Now let's see organizations before INC, right? Let's see now what are the important organizations were set up before INC. So organizations before INC. Organizations before INC. It's very important. These are the most of the organizations. Mostly, many times questions asked from the organizations. Whatever I am going to be explained. The first one, the first organizations, very important. The academic association, very important. The academic association. The academic association. The academic association was founded in 1828. The academic association was founded in 1828 in Calcutta. It was founded in Calcutta by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. It was founder was Raja Ram Mohan Rai. What is the main aim of this academic association? This academic association was given preference. This academic association was the first organization in India, or this is the earliest organization in India. So they may ask you in UPSC or other SSC exams or other public service commission exams, which was the earliest association or earliest political association in India. The earliest political association in India, the academic association, was founded in 1828 in Calcutta by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. The main aim of this academic association to discuss religious and social issues. Religious and social issues. This will be for the religious and social issues. This is the first earliest political association. This is the earliest political association. So I am writing here earliest political association. This is earliest political association. Okay. The second one, Landholders Society. Landholders Society, it was set up in 1838. Again, it was in Calcutta. Landholders Society. So it was set up by Dwarkanath Tagore. What was the main aim of this Landholder Society? The main aim of the Landholder Society is to protect their rights of the Zamindars. It is to protect rights of Zamindar. rights of zamindars, to protect rights of the zamindars. So this was an organization which worked for the zamindars only. Okay, all other zamindars they started this organization, Landholder Society, 1838. So this is the we can say that this is the earliest political association. Political associations, very important. Earliest political association. Let's see the third one, British India Society. Third one, British India Society. British India Society. British India Society, it was set up in 1839. 1839 in London. It was set up in London by William Adams. By William Adams. William Adams. Certain other country persons also they have started, they set up certain association. So among that, British India Society. Then the fourth one, the Bengal British India Society. The Bengal British India Society. The Bengal British India Society, 1843. Again, it is Calcutta. By George Thompson. What? George Thompson. Once it was asked in examinations, okay, Public Service Commission. The Bengal British India Society, 1843, Calcutta, by George Thompson. Here, the fifth one is very important because Landholder Society and the British Bengal Society both were merged. Okay, Landholder Society and the Bengal British India Society both were merged, and they have started a new association, British India Association. British India Association. British India Association. Right? What I am telling here, it is Landholder Society plus Bengal, the Bengal British India Society, both were, okay, so these both were merged. So these both were merged and formed a new organization, the British India Association. Very important. British India Association in 1851. In 1851. At where again it was Calcutta. It is again Calcutta. So it was, the founder was Radhakant Dev. Founder was Radhakant Dev. Radhakant Dev was the founder. Radhakant Dev was the founder, and Devendranath Tagore was the secretary. Devendranath Tagore was secretary. SEC I wrote, it is secretary. Devendranath Tagore was secretary. So British India Association, it was Landholder Society plus the Bengal British India Society, both were merged and it formed a new organization, that is British India Association, 1851, Calcutta. Founder was Radhakant Dev and secretary was Devendranath Tagore. So it was very important. Next, British India Association after Bombay Association. Very important. Bombay Association very important. So British India Society and British India Association, these are less important, but Bombay Association was very important. Bombay Association, it was 1852. At where? Bombay. So Bombay Association, there are three important persons who were there who founded this Bombay Association. One is Dadabhai Naoroji, Fardunji, Jagannath Shankar Seth. So I am reading here. Dadabhai Naoroji, one person, and Fardunji. Next, Jagannath Shankar Seth. Jagannath Shankar Seth. Jagannath Shankar Seth and Bahu Daji. Bahu Daji. So these are the intellectuals. So Bombay Association was founded in 1852 at Bombay. Okay, what is the main aim of this association? Why these four people they founded? Because they wanted to do something, that is public welfare. The main aim of this organization is public welfare. They wanted to represent the problems of the Indians in front of the British government. So that was because of the public welfare. These four intellectuals they started organization called Bombay Association. Dadabhai Naoroji, Fardunji, Jagannath Shankar Seth and Bahu Daji. These are the four important persons. They have started this Bombay Association. Next, the seventh one. Seventh one, many times question came in competitive examination. It was East India Association. East India Association. East India Association. So East India Association, it was founded in 1866 London by the first great economist in India, okay, Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji. Many time question came in competitive examination. Dadabhai Naoroji. East India Association. Dadabhai Naoroji. 1866 London. So very important. And other organizations also there. I wanted to rub this all. If you wanted to take a snapshot, you can take it. My dear viewers, all the information, it was gathered from the NCERT and Tata McGraw-Hill and Bipan Chandra's book. Mostly collected information from 3-4 books, and which is accurate, which is not leading conflict. So each and everything was accurate information. You can believe it, right? Because I also prepared for the civil services and other public service commission examinations. So that's what I am making all this. I was collected good information related to the Indian freedom struggle. Let's see after this the 8th organization, Purva Sarvajanik Sabha. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Yes, I want to rub and I want to write the 8th one. Let's see other organizations. The 8th one. 8th one, before we have done about East India Association, 1866, London, by the great Grand Old Man of India, Dadabhai Naoroji. Now, 8th one, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, 1867. Many time question asked. Many time this question was asked. The founder or in which year they have asked. The founder was Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Pune. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Pune. The founders were M.G. Ranade, M.G. Mahagovinda Ranade, Mahadeva Govinda Ranade, M.G. Ranade, and Ganesh Vasudev Joshi. M.G. Ranade, M.G. Ranade and Ganesh Vasudeva Joshi, right? M.G. Ranade, Ganesh Vasudeva Joshi were the intellectuals who established this Pune Sarvajanik Sabha again for the public welfare, political awakening. The ninth one, National Indian Association. Ninth one, National Indian Association. National Indian Association 1870. National Indian Association 1870. It was set up in London by Mary Carpenter. Mary Carpenter. It was set up in London. It was less important, but sometimes they may also ask us to arrange the organization chronologically or arrange the incident, ascending or descending order. So because of that we need to learn. Next, the 10th organization. The 10th organization was Indian League. Indian League. Indian League. Very, very important organization. It was set up in 1875. 1875 in Calcutta by Cecil Kumar Ghosh. Calcutta by Cecil Kumar Ghosh. Amrit Bazar Patrika, editor of Amrit Bazar Patrika. 10th one, Indian League, 1875, Calcutta by Cecil Kumar Ghosh. Then the 11th one, Indian Association. Indian Association. Indian Association. Indian Association 1876. Very, very important. Indian Association, Calcutta by the two intellectuals, S.N. Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose. S.N. Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose. Anand Mohan Bose. As you know that S.N. Banerjee was, he was cleared his civil services. ICS. He cleared his ICS. Indian Civil Services of that time. Anand Mohan Bose. Very, very important. Anand Mohan Bose. Then the 12th one. These are very, very important. This one and this both are very important. And the 12th one. Madras Mahajan Sabha. Madras Mahajan Sabha. Madras Mahajan Sabha. Madras Mahajan Sabha. It was founded in 1884 in Madras. Madras. Madras means what now present? Chennai. Madras Mahajan Sabha. It was chaired by Veera Raghavachari, Subramaniam Iyer and Anandachari. Veera Raghavachari. Veera Raghavachari, Subramaniam Iyer, the Hindu editor at the time. Subramaniam Iyer and Anandachari. Trio. This trio belongs to Madras presidency. These were started this Madras Mahajan Sabha. It's very, very important. Madras Mahajan Sabha, right? Madras Mahajan Sabha after. Okay, another important organization, Bombay Presidency Organization. Bombay Presidency Organization. The third one, Bombay Presidency Organization. Bombay Presidency Organization 1885. Bombay Presidency Organization at where? Bombay. At where? Bombay. This is again the trios. The trios were Firoz Shah Mehta. Firoz Shah Mehta, Badruddin Tyagi and K.T. Telang. So these are the organizations. There were so many organizations were set up before INCs. So these are the 13 organizations. Each and everything was very important for the competitive examination purpose. Once you see the civil services previous questions, mostly this kind of the questions you may find. You once see all SSC Staff Selection Commission examination previous papers, you find mostly these organizations. So each and every organization having a different aim, right? Because as we said, Bombay Association is for the public welfare purpose. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha is for the public welfare purpose. And Indian Association is to ask for the self-administration purpose. So each and every organization had a different aim, the different objectives, but these all are asking something to the British. These all organizations were asking something to the British. So at the time, Alan Octavian Hume, A.O. Hume. So A.O. Hume had been decided that why these many all organizations, it should be one organization which can be represent the aim, the objectives of the Indians, so that he was started the work. Then our Indian National Congress was founded. When INC was founded, Indian National Congress was founded 1885 December 28. 1885 December 28, the Indian National Congress was founded. let's in our next session we briefly discuss about the INC, who was the founder and who was the president, who was the governor general, what is the work of this INC and what are the consequences after the INC, we will discuss. My dear viewers, I hope I cleared whatever the information I gathered from the NCERT and Bipin Chandra book. So this was the information and I was made it chronologically. So that's it myself. My sincere request to you all, if you like my method of teaching, if you like my channel, please share my channel, subscribe my channel and don't forget to ask any doubts. That's it myself. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.